Okay, so not too long ago, I made this VTOL. Now, it's okay, but it's not that good. It's mostly due to, not having much weapons, and also being pretty bad. The first person is pretty bad, as the window is not very large, so you really can't use it in first person. And also, the left engine is painted different to the right engine, which really bothers me, and I didn't realise when I made it. So they were going to make a new one, which is going to be slightly more heavy and focus more on weaponry than actually flying, since it would seem a lot cooler. Now this is going to make it a lot more functional, but maybe a lot less fun to fly. So first I'm going to work on one of the weapons, a cannon, since this is going to basically have the whole VTOL based around it. Now this cannon is hopefully going to be able to, have quite a bit of ammo and shoot pretty fast. My idea is that it's going to shoot in bursts of 2 and really fast and have 8 ammo, so you can shoot 4 times. Now here's how it's going currently, and it's not going too bad. The problem is it could easily shoot in bursts of 2, but it can't shoot much faster than that because it basically takes ages to load another 2 ammo on. But it's probably going to be fine to have 2 bursts, 2 in quick succession, as that will still do quite a lot of damage. So now let's test it out. Now this is going to have a lot of recoil, but as you can see, it pretty much does work. There's a few bad stuff going on, but it's nothing that we can't change. And also, I also built what the outside of the VTOL will look around it to test out. Now this thing was relatively powerful and had a really good range, but it kind of exploded sometimes, so we did have to do a few changes to it, but it wasn't too hard. Now this thing's going to have 3, weapons. It's going to have a cannon, bombs, and some rockets, which are hopefully going to do the most damage. Now the cannon is pretty easy to do, as I make quite a lot of them, but I also really enjoy making them. This is, one of the worst parts is when they do explode, but it's pretty bad, especially when they're finished. So then I basically just built the nose cone around the cannon and made a little hole for it to shoot through. Now this was to test how it would actually do with the nose cone, as it's quite important whilst doing testing, as I'd rather fix it now rather than later, since that's usually quite a big problem with many of my things. So yeah. Now the main problem is that you basically can't have the explosives touch the size of the barrel, which is one of the big problems with this, since the explosives are placed in a bit of an odd place, which means that they were. But it was pretty easy to solve, as I just need to change each of the 8 explosives as well. And as you can see here, it shoots perfectly. Now this isn't VTOL can fly vertically and horizontally, I suppose, if you say so. But basically, one's a helicopter, one's a plane. Now this is going to be using the helicopter mode, as it's a lot easier to aim then, and also it's a lot less likely to explode, as speed and explosives do not mix at all. So yeah, I started working on the end of the plane and towards the tail. Now this is one of the bits that I cannot do right at all. I love building planes, but this is one of the worst parts. Building tail, especially the tail fins, as I could never make them look natural or realistic. But it went okay on this one. This one ended up looking a bit goofy, as it looked it looked very big, but also just a bit odd in the end. But I still quite liked it. After a bit, the tail did actually look okay. One of the worst bits is the vertical stabilizer. I'm pretty sure it's called. Basically, the vertical fin that goes upwards. Now I can never make them look good. It looks awful to me, at least, and it just always makes them look worse. I can't really get them right, as I make them quite wide, but if I made them thin, I think it probably look worse. But I don't know. I think it'll do, but it looks really, really bad. So yeah. Now I started working on the wings and the engine. It's gonna have one engine on either side, and also have lots of thrust in them. All the thrust is basically just gonna come from the wings, from the engines, but some is gonna be inside the body just to stabilize it slightly more. So yeah, I started adding loads of thrusters, as they were pretty okay. And the engines looked actually, well, yeah, pretty good. I am going to paint this eventually, as I don't normally paint stuff, but it looks pretty good and it makes it look a lot better. I started working on the actual cockpit as it looked, well, relatively good. But yeah. So this was pretty simple. It made it look relatively good, but now it's actually time to, well, make the actual, well, like, not screen, but, well, windshield, let's say. Now, this didn't look too good. It looked very disproportionate with the rest of it, but we had to add one eventually, so yeah, it had to stay. So yeah, now it's time to actually, well, work on actually like getting things to actually be able to fly. Now, the one is, well, we need to add pitch, which basically just turn up and down, and it's pretty useful, and all well, all my flying things have it. Now this was pretty simple, just a bit of logic and some bearings, well, to make the WNS converter. But anyway, now it flies. As you can see, we have, well, pitch and roll, and it flies pretty well. The wings are at an angle, so we get some upwards thrust as well, which makes think okay. It is a bit, well, annoying to fly in, like, well, in horizontal flight, but it's okay, as normally you'll be flying quite high and also quite, well, fast, so you won't have to fly like it for quite a while. So yeah, it also in, like, well, helicopter mode, let's just say, I don't know what it's called. It also flies pretty well. It's my preferred mode of flight, but since you can actually aim and do a lot more. But anyway, I really want. Well, now I'm going to add yaw, which isn't something I usually add. Since the turning, I usually just turn by using my pitch and roll, but in this it's going to be pretty necessary to actually aim at stuff on the ground. But I'm going to be smart and basically just rebound the keys to activate it, well, the buttons to Q and E, because that's easier for me. And yeah, I have quite a lot of trouble with buttons because there are so many of them and they're pretty hard to use. Now, there's also another problem that sometimes the wings jam while rotating. So you basically just spin around in circles for like a few minutes, so it isn't that good. But now we've got the yaw working. Now we can turn pretty easily, and it's quite strong, which is pretty good. So then I started working on the bombs. Now, these are going to be relatively necessary as they, well, will help a lot to actually do quite a lot of damage. But also, they're actually one of the heaviest weapons we've got, as they have large explosives instead of small explosives. Now I use simple logic just to make it so they, well, fire, well, like, evenly. So as you can see, we basically have a bomb bay door that opens up, and then it starts to drop explosives. Pretty slowly, but it's not too bad, and we actually have quite a lot of ammo to actually, well, drop. Now it definitely does the job. Now the main problem with this is that we're basically filling the plane up with explosives, but I'm sure it won't go wrong. But anyway, now we're gonna actually have to work on the rockets and a few other things. So the rockets are pretty simple, and we're gonna have around 4 of them, 2 on each wing. Now when I first attached them to the wing, they're in the wrong orientation, so you can only really fly them, well, horizontal flight, which made them pretty bad. But it didn't really matter. They're also, well, they've got quite 2 thrusters, which means they're really fast, which means they usually hit their target dead on center, which is pretty good. But anyway, so I added the rockets, but of course I attached them the wrong way, which is really annoying. But they're also going to look a bit weird attached the proper way, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So yeah, so obviously I realised I made the, well, mistake and started, well, of attaching them in the right way. Well, they will look a bit weird, but we can also shoot them downwards in horizontal flight. But as you can see, they actually do quite a lot of damage. We hit that tree dead on, which completely destroyed it, but it's just the tree, so we'll see how good it is later. Now, as you can see, it does jam quite a bit, which is really quite bad, but there's not much I can do about it since I already had to add a few more bearings to make it so it actually work. But anyway, let's test this thing out. So as you see here we've got a castle, which I'm going to attempt to destroy, but then I realised that there was a problem with the cannon where it couldn't reload, so we have to fix that first. But anyway, now it works. And as you can see, it does quite a lot of damage, except it also fuses through, well, like the object, which is, well, the castle, which is pretty bad. But it is what it is, and it's pretty good, as, well, the two shots do quite a lot of damage. But there's also no, well, like, well, if we basically, when we fire our cannon, we lose lots of weight, but there's nothing, well, like, to stop us from going up more. So we have way more power when we lose weight, which is pretty bad. I also forgot which, well, button the bombs were hooked up to, and I ended up exploding, which is not bad. But anyway, let's try again where it actually works. Now, obviously, the cannons are kind of bad because the Sky has this weird thing where you can't really aim down with them, so it's really annoying to do. But it worked okay. Now, the rockets are really quite good. I should have added more of them, but for some reason I didn't. Which is a bit of a bad decision, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, the cannon was probably one of the worst things, as it didn't do loads of damage and it was pretty hard to aim as you had to be level with the thing you were shooting at, which was pretty annoying, but it didn't really matter as we did quite a lot of damage to this castle. We kind of had to be on the ground to shoot it, which was really annoying, but as again, it is what it is. But also, my flying skills are not that good, so I still getting to use this thing, but again, it was okay. Now the bombs are where it really did quite well, as they were, well, did quite a lot of damage as they were large explosives, and they could also, well, yeah, destroy the thing. But as you can see, we did quite a lot of damage. It's basically all gone, and you definitely wouldn't be able to, like, carry on using it as a castle. So the next one is the farmbot test, which I basically just stayed on the ground using my cannon, and then I just lifted off. Now, this thing's quite durable, as actually 2 of the rockets exploded. I think the rest are going to explode in a minute, but like this thing can still fly pretty well. I mean, there's only one farmbot left. Now this, of course, is mostly due to the, well, them just exploding themselves. But anyway, as you can see, we lost the other bit of wing to, well, rockets. But then we actually destroyed this farbot with the spud guns from the cannon, which actually came in useful. So yeah, this thing's pretty good. Just took out like 6 farmbots, and also wasted around like 8 thrusters. So the next one is this tank, and obviously, the tank is actually a bit too good because I tried firing at it, and then I kind of just ended up, well, exploding. Now would have been probably a lot less bad if, well, I didn't have like it full of bombs. But anyway, next one is for the tape bot test, which is not going to go well. I don't think so, at least. Especially on the first attempt, it did not, as they basically just shot at me and then it blew up. I don't know why. It might have been tape bots, but also probably just because of the poor ammo placement, and also probably because of the cannon misfiring or something ridiculous like that. But anyway, we tried again, and this time we were mostly using bombs as they are incredibly well high damage, especially since you're going to attack from higher up, and their tables can't really do much damage to us. Now, a few of the bombs did explode mid-air, but as you can see, we got a massive hit on the tables. I think lots of them actually died, which was pretty good. In the end, there's only like 3 tape bots left, which is pretty good. And the last test is Battleship. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit different to the last few videos I've been doing, as the last few of them are very different to my previous uploads, as I kind of got bored of just like making stuff over and over, and you boy did as well. So yeah, this was a bit of a different video, as it's more focused on the testing of what I made rather than actually making it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Now, the Battleship didn't actually stand up to that much, as this has a lot of weapons. Now, the problem is this thing is that you've got to be extremely close to wherever what you're aiming at. But the bombs did quite a bit of damage but like also this thing didn't start sinking. And this is mostly because it's got some thrusters which keeps it afloat, which is kind of cheating. But when I made the boat, there was no other way really. Now this thing is actually okay to fly. The yaw makes it really good, and I'm really glad I added it. But everything else kind of is okay. So they came back for another bombing run, and they didn't really hit though, which is a shame. Now you can obviously see they were quite a lot faster with no, with no bombs in, because we've obviously got a lot less weight. So let's just finish it off with the rockets. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next video. And I'll be seeing you, well, next time. Bye.